Hi guys, welcome to Learning Electronics Repair. I have a little breadboard here you can see and a AQH2223. This is a solid state relay chip and it's from a PCB from an air conditioner that I was trying to repair or diagnose at the end of last week. And I basically came down to the fact that this is faulty. And that caused some debate. So I'll explain why we had some debate. Now let's see if we can actually settle this debate one way or the other. Here is the datasheet for the solid state relay. So we can see there are two versions of this. One has a zero crossing circuit and one doesn't. Now the zero crossing basically is there so that the relay will only switch on as the mains voltage crosses zero. That's to stop like clicks and thumps on audio systems and things nearby, basically. And I guess also mains borne interference. So that's what it either does or doesn't do. Mine is this version. So you'll see inside the package is an LED, which is shining, if we can say shining because they're infrared LEDs. In this case, looks like an opto triac, which connects into some sort of zero crossing circuit. And in this one, on what looks like to me an opto diac, and then that turns on the triac. So I tried connecting my multimeter here. I could read the 1.05 drop across the LED, which should light it up, but nothing happened on the output. It didn't switch. I then tried my backlight tester, which gives a little bit more current. Again, nothing happened, but the backlight tester only gives 1 milliamp. And somebody quite rightly pointed out, if we look at the data sheet, the absolute maximum LED forward current is 50 milliamps. It says the LED dropout voltage is 1.18 with 10 milliamp current. Now, I'm only seeing about 1.5, so that may suggest that the LED is actually not illuminating, in which case the people who say I was not testing this correctly could be right. Okay. This is the test circuit I used. So we have AC voltage, neutral onto pin 6, and then through a 60 watt light bulb to pin 8. So when the opto track turns on, current can flow and the LED lights up. The actual opto track says it can handle 8 amps, so that's absolutely fine. I'm only using a 60 watt bulb, so it's well less than 1 amp, about 250, 300 milliamps, something like that. And it shows various test conditions with an LED current of 10 milliamps, okay? It also mentions about rippling the input power supply for LED operate current at E minimum, which is maintain 10 milliamps. So it mentions 10 milliamps a few times. The question is, when I was using 1 milliamp, which should light the LED, would this thing actually switch on? So we're going to find out A, if it actually is faulty, and B, if it is actually working, what the minimum current we need is to light the LED and trigger the opto triac. So let's have a look at the circuit. It's very simple. Here is the circuit, and I will apologise, by the way, for any noise in the background today. There are some workmen who are having the audacity to actually work in the shopping centre, putting some cables in or something. Anyway, talking about our cables, we have the opto triac, 8 pin, but that pin is actually missing, so there's only 7 basically. We're going to connect our light bulb here. This will go to the mains, live or neutral, it doesn't actually matter. And then we connect it here. So this is 240 volts AC. And then on this side, the LED we connect to pin 2 and 3. Okay, so there is our LED. This is where our triac is inside here. Okay, right, so I'm gonna test first with just an LED. So I'm going to see whether or not my multimeter and my backlight tester, which is what I used on the original test, will light an LED. I'm sure they will. And I'm also interested to see how much difference in brightness we get, for example, on an LED with 1 milliamp or 10 milliamps current. So let's try that, and then let's test the device again and see if it really does work. So here we have a red LED. I'll just put my meter onto diode range. Okay. And let's see if we can light the LED. So, yeah, I mean, that lights quite well, to be quite honest. It's not full brightness, but it's certainly lighting up. Gives 1.769 forward voltage drop. Okay. Let's try that with the backlight tester as well. I'm not sure what current this actually is putting through the LED. In fact, let's measure that. So we're accounting for everything here, okay? So I've connected the current meter on milliamps in series with my multimeter. Let's light the LED again, okay? And you can see that we now have 1.77 volts on the multimeter voltage. That's the forward voltage drop. And we put in 0.315 milliamps through the LED, but it still lights. Now we have the backlight tester. So this is a 1 milliamp constant current source. We can just check that actually without the LED in circuit. 1.2 milliamps, so it's not accurate. 1.26. Now let's try to light our LED. Well, that's brighter at 1.26, 1.27, you see, okay? So that is lighting brighter than with the multimeter. And here is my test circuit. So I have the yellow wire coming out of my bench power supply from the positive. That goes to the positive cable for the multimeter in milliamps range, back out on the black one, which comes via this crocodile clip into these resistors. So we have two 1.5k resistors, giving a total of 3k. I worked out that at about 30 volts on the power supply, I have about 10 milliamps, which would give about 0.3 of a watt dissipated if I use a single 3k resistor. So using two 1.5ks in series means about 0.15 watt on each, which is absolutely fine. So I can turn the power supply up. We can see the current here. And at first nothing happens, but then the LED lights up. So already at this point, can you just see that? I'll zoom down a little bit for you. Okay, a bit more zoom. Yeah, I think you can probably see that. So you just light, see, so that's lighting the LED. It's about 0.14 milliamps, okay, low current. And we can go up. And at 2 milliamps, it's quite bright. And it doesn't go much brighter. Well, it is going brighter. So that's now fully lit at 10 milliamps, and we'll come down a bit. The brightness isn't particularly changing when you get to about 5 milliamps or below. Yes, it gets a little bit dimmer. But there isn't a huge amount of difference in brightness between a couple milliamps or so. Yeah, now it gets low. So we can see that lights up. Let's try this now with our opto isolator. At the moment there's no load connected to it, I'm just on the input. Again, you can see the current. A couple of milliamps, 9 volts coming in. And we can get just over 10, okay, on the full. So let's try this now with a mains light bulb connected and see if the light bulb comes on with 10 milliamps going in. I've connected the light bulb from pin 6 to 8. So mains coming in through the light bulb, back to mains, okay. Let's put this onto 10 milliamps. Okay, we can see 10 milliamps. Let's switch the mains on and let's see what happens. And it lights up. So the people who said that I used too low a current and this was faulty were actually correct, yeah. So hold my hands up, I was wrong on that one. Let's see what current we actually need to light this. So let's go down to say 5 milliamps. Will it light now? Yeah. Just over 2 milliamps does it light now? No, it doesn't light now. So the minimum it will light at, let's try 3. No. 4. Yes, and it's flickering. Do you see that? It's flickering. And 5 milliamps. It comes on. Okay, guys, so that settles the debate. You need about 5 milliamps to trigger the solid state relay. I think we can take a few things from this. 1, always read the datasheet properly. 2, we're all still learning, including me. And 3, I'm quite happy to put my hands up and say, yeah, I was wrong. Okay, hope you enjoyed that one. Short video, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon again on Learning Electronics Repair. Ciao for now, guys.